Hi Sally, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Can you tell me a little bit more about your role here on the Great Orme?
My role is country park warden, but the Great Orme, as well as being a country park, is a site of special scientific interest and a special area of conservation.
And why is it a special area of conservation, or a SSSI?
Well, it has habitats which are rare, not just in the UK, but the habitats that we've got here, like limestone grassland, heathland, they're rare habitats across the UK and across Europe.
So are there plants which are unique to this part of the world?
Yes, one plant in particular is endemic to the Great Orme, not found anywhere else in the world, and that's called Cotoneaster cambricus, or its Welsh name is Craig Afal.
That grows here and nowhere else?
Yeah, nowhere else in the world. Yeah.
And what's the situation with it at the moment?
Well, the original population got down to 6 of the original plants, and the plant is still critically endangered. We've been growing plants from seed and planting them back out onto the Great Orme.
And are there any other plants or wildlife of interest?
Yeah, there are lots of plants which are classed as nationally rare or nationally scarce. Also, we've got really rare invertebrates, so things that people might have heard of are a silver-studded blue butterfly, and on the Great Orme the silver-studded blue here is a subspecies which is endemic to the Great Orme.
It's a unique and sensitive habitat.
It really is, and the limestone grassland is just spectacular, and there isn't much left of it in the UK.
I can see lots of one particular type of plant here with some berries on it, or in fact lots of berries. Can you tell us what we're looking at?
Yeah, it's wall Cotoneaster. It's a non-native Cotoneaster, which has been planted in local gardens, public and private gardens. And because of these prolific berries, it's very attractive to birds. They eat the seed, and then what comes out the other end gets spread, and it seems to particularly thrive on limestone, and so it's taken over.
This whole area behind you here and behind me on this side is clever in it, isn't it?
It is. The limestone grassland is one of the reasons for the Great Orme being designated a site of special scientific interest and a special area of conservation. And it's a habitat that's at threat, and one of those threats is the spread of non-native plants, and Cotoneaster is one of the worst.
So no one planted it here, it's found its own way here.
Yeah, planted originally in nearby gardens, but then it escapes the boundary of gardens either by creeping out through the fence or by birds, usually spreading the seed is the most common way.
So essentially it's an escapee from a garden. And is there anything you can do about it in terms of managing it here on a Gogarth?
It's really difficult to get rid of. The soils here are quite shallow, and the rock isn't very far below the surface, and it seems to root deeply into the rocks, so you can't pull it up. We had controlled it with the help of volunteers in the past, just by cutting it back and clearing it from some areas, but then it does grow back.
So let's imagine a situation where you could actually eradicate it from the Orme. That wouldn't solve the problem, would it?
Not when there is a seed source close by, so gradually it would still come back. There are other plants that could be chosen instead, which have benefits for pollinators, and also other plants that have berries but don't spread easily across limestone sites. And it's a good place to stand here because, as you said, there isn't much else here but the Cotoneaster, when what should be here is native flowers.
I suppose it's the native plants that would grow here are better at supporting our local wildlife.
That's right. We also have very rare insect species, and they all rely on those native plant species that should be growing here.
So what we're looking at is a really sensitive habitat that
That's
supports lots of native wildlife, but has been taken over by a plant that escaped from people's gardens.
That's right, and it takes an awful lot of time and money to clear a hillside like this. Often that has to be done with contractors, given the scale of the problem.
If someone is thinking about going out into the garden and to find out whether or not they have wall Cotoneaster, what should they be looking out for?
Well, it has very small leaves, When it's in flower, you get absolutely covered in the white flowers. And then in later these red berries form. And it's shrubby, it's woody.
Yes, it has that kind of flat herringbone pattern to the branching, doesn't it?
Yeah, so it spreads out with branches crossing. The best thing to do really, if you do have it in garden, if you keep it under control by pulling up any seedlings that are produced so it doesn't spread, preferably pushing it back completely so that it doesn't produce flowers.
So the message is, don't plant any more of it in your gardens.
That's right.
Cefnogwch fyd natur a cynefinoedd unigryw fel glaswelltir calchfaen a gogarth drwy beidio a phrynu planhigion ymledol fel Cotoneaster, asgwrn, pysgodyn yn y lle gyntaf. Neu drwy dynnu planhigion ymledol o'ch gardd, neu drwy atal lledaeniad yr hadau ar ôl iddyn nhw flodeuo. Am gymorth gyda adnabod rhywogaethau ymledol neu syniadau am beth i'w blannu yn ei lle, ewch i Pecyn Cymorth Garddwyr am rhagor o wybodaeth. Helpwch i atal y lledaeniad. Byddwch yn ymwybodol o rhywogaethau ymledol ac fel garddwyr, gadewch i ni wneud gwahaniaeth gyda'n gilydd.